What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Operation Overhaul. And today we're going to be doing the axle on the Volkswagen Passat. It is a 2012 with the 2.5 and it is an SE model. And we already have the tire off of it, and I already have the new one in stock ready to put on. But I'm going to be showing you how to put this on. So if you're interested in this, stick with me and chum on. Like I said, we already have the tire off of this. And if nobody has ever removed the tire from a German vehicle, they don't use the studs in the wheel bearings or the hub assemblies. The bolts actually go through the tire and rim assembly into the hub assembly. And most of them are like 17 millimeters, like BMWs and stuff are what they are. And whenever you go to reinstall them, the torque spec is normally a lot lower than if it was a studded tire or wheel bearing. But enough on that right now. What we're going to do is go ahead and start pulling this axle out. And as you can see, we don't have a nut, we actually have a bolt that goes through here. And that bolt right there is a 24 millimeter 12 point. But we're going to go ahead and pull this out, which really wasn't all that tight, to be honest. Normally they torque to 200 Newton meters, and an additional 180 degrees is what you want to torque this to. And on some of these models, this bolt right here can actually be a torque to yield bolt. I looked it up, and the service data said that this wasn't, and that you can reuse it on this model. But as you can see, we got it out and up. Yep, the axle actually moves, and as you can see, it is busted. And to fix that, he wanted to go with a new axle rather than trying to reboot it. Sometimes that's just easier on me to do that, but like I said, we always go with what the customer wants to do. And then once you have that out, go underneath right here. And as you can see, they are 3 bolts right there on the ball joint assembly, or nuts rather, and you're going to want to disconnect those so that you can move the knuckle assembly out of the way so you can pull the axle out. But we're going to knock those right there off. I do believe they are like 15s. So stand corrected, they are 16 millimeter. And we're going to use our big impact. That right there are your, that right there is your nuts that come off of it. And I may even separate the tie rod just to make it easier on me. Let's see what size that is. That way I can just move the knuckle around. I figure it couldn't be that easy where it matched. Let's try an 18. Yes, the tie rod is an 18 millimeter. I know you probably saw the back of my head on that one. And we are going to be using my tie rod tool just so we don't break the boot. And I'm just going to turn this until it pops out. And there we go. By the way, that tool uses a 22 millimeter on the bolt. Now that that's out of the way, we can turn it. Okay, we got that knot loose. Now I'm going to climb underneath here and pop it out of the transmission. To do this, we're going to have to remove this bottom cover. And it looks like it's held in with some Torx bits, some small ones, maybe like T20s, T15s. Then on the back side of it, there's also a T47. So like I said, on the back there's a T47. That's it right there. Should be 3 of those and 8 T20s. Once the T47s are removed, the back should fall down and you should be able to pull it straight back. And it just clips into the front air dam. But now that we have that out of the way, we can try to pry our axle out. I can get in there. Alright, I got the axle broke loose. The way I had to do it was I used a thicker flathead screwdriver, and you stick it up from the bottom and use a rubber mallet to actually hit the bottom of the screwdriver, and it actually pops it out of the seat on the transmission. I do have something underneath there to catch any fluid that comes out. Depending on how much fluid comes out, you may have to put some more back in it. There's your axle, and right there you can see it's busted. And we have the new one right here. And the new one right here, that's the part that goes into the actual hub. This part right here goes into the transmission. I like to put a little grease around the C-clip just so it doesn't go in dry. Okay. I do believe there's 3 different styles of axles that go on this. And you have to look at the year, make, month. The make, month, if I can talk right, but you have to look at the month that it was made and the year, and then that will tell you when or what axle to get. I'll try to move this a little more so I can see if we can get it to go in. There it went. And I'm gonna get a rag and clean up the strut and the boot on this. I'm gonna pull this back. And I'm gonna line it up. And there we go. I got it started, so what I'm going to do is actually thread the bolt in. And draw it the rest of the way in for me, just to hold it. Now that it's holding it for me, we can line up the ball joints. Alright, got that started. Some people put blue Loctite on these, some people don't. There was no Loctite on it from the factory, so I'm just going to leave it off. I'm actually going to use my ratchet to tighten this down rather than the impact, just so I don't over tighten it and it actually can break the what you call it, the threads. Yeah, the threads to the studs. Believe me, I have actually done this and had to replace the ball joint, and I replaced it under my own pocket because it was my fault. And just tighten them down evenly at first, and then I'll go back and put some torque on it. There's that. that I will run up with the impact a little bit. I'm going to throw the cover on, put the wheel back on and lower it down, and then I will torque this right here. Like I said, it does torque to 200 Newton meters and an additional 180 degrees. All right, let me get the cover and the tire on this, and I'll lower it down and show you how I torque this down. It does torque to 200 Newton meters and an additional 180 degrees on the axle bolt. But let me do this stuff right here real quick, and I'll be right back and show you torquing that down. This is the part number right here, and this is for an 09 of 2012. I can't remember if it's up to or 09 and newer. I'd have to look that up. I will leave that in the description. But this one right here is for the 09 of 2012. Just look at your year again. I know I keep saying that, but this is important, and I'd hate for somebody to purchase something, have to return it, and wait for the new one to get in. But that's it right there, and I will put a link to all three of them just so everybody has them, and I will put what the month and everything is in the description as well. And there we go. That's putting an axle in one of these. Like I said, they are 3 different types. There is a bolt-in and then 2 press-in ones like this, and the press-in ones determine what month and year your car was made. But if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and any torque specs or comments, concerns that you may need or want to let me know about, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. And until next time, y'all have a great day.